This is the podcast where we take a part of nerd culture and talk about it at...
Good one.
Welcome, listeners, and thank you for tuning into Those Nerds Over There. We are your hosts. I'm Alan.
I'm Kazel.
And I'm Sal.
This is the podcast where we take a part of nerd culture and talk about it passionately as nerds do.
As nerds do.
They do.
Yes.
So, welcome, one and all. I want to start by saying our title, Those Nerds Over There.
Yes.
When I think about it, I always think about, you know that episode of SpongeBob?
Which one?
With
I'm going to need more details.
Yeah, where he's trying to get into the salty spittoon or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Yes.
And with Weenie Hut General.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, I think you're looking for that hospital over there. I just think about somebody like, hey, I need a new friend group. I need some nerds. And we're like, oh, we're nerds. And they notice that he's like a super nerd. And they're like, I think you're looking for those nerds over there.
That's certainly a lot more...
Not the regular ones. Those ones over there.
That's more pure than what I had thought the name about the name.
Oh.
Go on.
We'll go... Oh, you... Okay.
I want to
Expound.
Know. Okay, so do you know what a thought is?
Oh.
Yes.
So, yeah, I had just replaced the H with an N.
Oh, God.
But we'll go with the SpongeBob one if people ask.
Okay, now I know what you really think of us.
Start crying.
Shall we get this show on the road?
Yes, so, we like to start out with a nerd-themed question, and, if you, the listener, have one, feel free to DM it to us on Twitter or leave it in the comments. We'd love to add you to the nut jar, but here's a shake for you.
That's a lot of nuts.
Yeah, nuts.
Dude, I still wish I had some nuts. Nothing but postcards in here.
Why haven't you gotten a new jar?
Nuts are so expensive because of all the freaking water it takes.
Sorry. Go on.
Let's see. Sorry. Oh, okay. I think this one was a little polarizing. This was asked by my friend Forrest. He is at Kahoy on Twitch. That's Kahhoyy. He wants us to talk about... Huh? Yeah, he is, actually. I only have like 3 people in this jar right now, so please, listener.
Ask us something.
You'll get a shout out. But, was it... So, Firefly, overrated or underrated?
Overrated or underrated? So, yes. If you guys don't know, Firefly is a show that premiered on Fox?
Was it Fox?
I don't remember.
Well, we could be potentially putting misinformation out there now.
Yes. Karen.
Edit in the correct TV station.
The correct TV station. I want to say Fox, but it's a show that got highly praised. It's a sci-fi show about... Oh man, how do I explain Firefly?
Joss Whedon,
yeah.
There we go. It's Joss Whedon.
A group of misfit, thieves, I guess.
It's a space western.
Yeah.
It's a space western.
And you're right, it was on Fox.
Yeah.
2002.
Nice. And it got canceled after its first season, even though it is like beloved and deserved a second season. Fox is just known for canceling seasons too soon. So
they cancel everything too soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they like it enough, they will just replace the directors and writers.
That seems like a horrible practice.
It is horrible. Especially with Joss Whedon's history with them. I don't know why he stayed with them so long.
Yeah. But is Firefly overrated or underrated? I want to say it's underrated because I think only like even with its popularity amongst like nerd culture, I feel like people still don't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat with you there. Because you introduced me to Firefly.
Yes.
Yeah, but everyone I talk to up here in Seattle don't know what that is, or they've heard about it and they're like, "Oh, I can't be bothered to watch it." I'm like, "Yo, it's one season."
Right? One season, one movie. Like, just do it. You binge watch like 10 episodes, or yeah, like 10 episodes of The Office a day. You can watch one episode of Firefly.
Have you seen Firefly, Hazel?
I've seen like the first 3 episodes and I liked it. I think it's underrated, but I just don't have time to binge watch anything. But if I had time, I would continue watching. But instead, I play video games.
You gotta keep those priorities.
Yep.
Yeah. It was actually introduced to me when I like first moved here by my friend Sean. And he's like, "Dude, you need to watch this." And I was like, it looks old though. Cause I normally don't like older shows or movies.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I saw
You're oldest. You're racist. Wait, no. Ageist.
Ageist, there you go.
I was watching old bits of Voltron, and that stuff was just like
ancient Voltron, or
yeah, like 80s Voltron, or
okay.
60s Voltron, or whatever. It was like nonsense.
That's a trip. That's a trip in itself.
So I watched like the first episode, and I was like, this is fine. But he's like, you have to keep watching it. So I kept watching it, and it was during a time where I didn't have like a TV or like anything. I don't think we had internet at the time either. I don't remember. It was a weird situation. I had like just moved here, so my room was like a bed and that's it. I had my laptop, so he let me borrow his DVDs. And so I watched them and I was like, this is the best thing ever. And it sparked my love for Nathan Fillion, who is the lead.
Have you watched any of The Rookie?
I have not.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a cop show. I don't care for cop shows. I really enjoyed Castle, which he was in before, which is also a cop show, but it has like a different spin on it because he's like a writer in it, and he's not really a cop. So I thought that was fun. Yeah. And then just everything he's in is usually great, but I don't really care for cop shows as much, so I haven't tried it out.
So it seems like we all really love Firefly, and I think that's true for, if people that like Firefly, right, they like really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, opening this up to the two of you and the audience, I think one of the critiques is like, it got such a cult following because it got canceled so soon. And do you think that's like, why
it got popular?
Like why it is as popular as it is just because it got canceled?
Possibly. It's like when artists die, like old artists die, and their paintings get pulled out of the woodwork, and it's like, oh, hey, look at this thing. Oh, wow, look at this dead person did this. Not saying that anyone who made that show is dead, but the show itself is dead. And it's like, oh, hey, look at this dead thing.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but
it's because it got canceled, like, people talked about it more. And those hardcore fans who are just like, oh man, the show that I watched, it didn't get a second season, and it's so great, and you guys should watch it, because maybe you guys watch, or everyone else watching it will get it back on the air. And that's usually the case. It doesn't ever happen. I don't know why anyone does it. Like, it'll happen. But what was that one show that got canceled and then had to come back because...
Family Guy?
Was it?
Arrested
Fox
Development?
canceled Family Guy. Oh.
Maybe there's a bunch, but...
Yeah. Like, I think people do use it as sort of a marketing strategy now, where they're like tease that something might be canceled just so people could start talking about it and watching it more.
Yeah.
But this actually did get canceled.
But this is back in the day though, so like what they didn't use these kind of practices. But I do, yeah, she makes a point, Kazel, that like it does get people like talking about it, but I think beyond that point, like once people do start talking about it, like the material speaks for itself in a way. Like dead artists, like the only reason why their stuff remains popular is because it was good. Like if it hadn't been good, then it probably would have been like cool for a time, but then people would have stopped caring. So I don't know.
So you think Firefly, it's just good because it's good. It isn't because I bring this up because like that's kind of, I feel, the argument used for why it's overrated. It's just because it got canceled. People got way too hyped about it because of that.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I think though, because people didn't really know about it, I think if it got more seasons and people started talking about it and it gained traction, it probably would have been just as popular, I think, but we'll never know, so
we don't get to know.
Yeah, I just looked, and so that one season only aired from September to December in 2002, and then fast forward to 2005 is when they made or released Serenity.
Yeah.
So because of the success of that one season, Joss Whedon at least went in and quote unquote continued the story in Serenity.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like such in high demand that they made a movie just to like tie up the story. At least
I'm gonna put
bit.
Air quotes on tie.
Yeah.
Like I'm
as much as possible.
I'm unsatisfied.
Like, I mean, you can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so then I guess to the listeners, all three of us, we endorse Firefly. It's very good then.
Very good. Go watch it if you have the time and you like sci-fi westerns.
Oh my, I love westerns. That freaking Overwatch short came out and I'm just like, yes, this is my aesthetic.
It's like if you like Cowboy Bebop, go watch Firefly.
Good. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yep.
All right. Time to spin the wheel.
All right.
Do you have the wheel?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry, we're just really bad at transitions, but
yeah.
let us turn to our false god.
Oh no.
The wheel.
Yay.
Do you think the nut jar is a false prophet of the wheel, or do you think that the nut jar itself is also a false god?
I mean,
well, it takes offerings from people, so
yeah.
Right.
It is also a false god, I believe.
All right, so okay, so
if you burn it after, yes, it is.
Okay, so we have two false gods. Got it.
Oh man, where'd this conversation go?
Sorry, just something I had been wondering because we seem to do the bidding of the jar and the wheel. But the wheel has spoken.
Do they get jealous of each other? Huh.
If you do something's bidding, it's automatically a false god.
Well, I mean, I'll get back to me on that one.
It's just like, Alan, can you go do this thing for me? Yeah, sure. Haha, fool! Worship me!
That was my 3DS, like, back when you could pass people and send notes. That was my 3DS note, where it just said, worship me in all caps.
Forgot about that.
The wheel has spoken, and Kazel
is first.
Yep, what did you get real excited about this week?
Okay, so it's my turn. I go first. Yay! So what did I get excited about this week? I technically got excited about it last week.
Shame on
but I got even more excited about it this week because more stuff came out to do. So last week, Blizzard had BlizzCon, and they did a bunch of stuff, and it was cool, and they were just releasing a bunch of stuff. people got excited about, some people got mad about, but most people were excited about stuff that BlizzCon was releasing. It was really cool, and one of them was for Overwatch. And if you know me, I'm a giant Overwatch fan. I might not be gold or platinum rank, but I really love Overwatch in general. Like, I have so much fun. You can be a
fan and not be like,
yeah, I don't need comp. I don't need comp in my life.
People don't need to be good to enjoy games.
Yeah, I don't care about that gold status. I don't care.
You do care, but
I just want to be above bronze. That's all I want to be. But anyway, I love Overwatch, and they released one new character who's technically two characters, but her name is, I wrote it down. Her name is Elizabeth Caledonia Calamity Ash, and she is called Ash in the game. And she's really cool Western, like a Western gang leader, and she's really cool and fancy, and she's voiced by Jennifer Hale, who did the voice of Female Shepherd in Overwatch, or not Overwatch, in Mass Effect. I just have Overwatch in my brain right now. But yeah, she's one of my favorite voice actors in video games, because I don't think I could play through Mass Effect as a male because the voice is so awful. But
that was me. I played through male.
But yeah, so Ash. She was revealed November 2nd at BlizzCon. It was Ash and Bob. Bob, who is her robot butler, who has been with her ever since she was a child. And it's so fun to play as them, because on Tuesday is when Overwatch / Blizzard usually releases updates for the game, which is, I mean, cool. It's in the middle of the week.
All games seem to do that. Why Tuesdays?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they don't want, like, the kids getting old. I don't know. But
what?
I think it might be so, like, on a Friday, you don't want to be busy updating when you can be playing the game.
Oh, true. I guess.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, on Tuesday, they released the PTR patch where you could actually start playing as Ash and kind of testing her out, seeing how she, give the company info if she's bugged in any place, or, like, feedback on how things are working. And yeah, she's actually, like, super fun to play. Let me go into stuff, though. Because if you don't know what Overwatch is, it's a game where it's about playing as a team. It's a multiplayer first-person shooter game developed by Blizzard. And it's kind of, if you know Team Fortress, it's kind of got that same scheme where people have certain, what's that called?
Abilities?
Classes?
But they have certain classes where they do certain things. So like a defender, attack. They don't have those two. They combine those two, but it used to be like attack, defense, tank, and support. And it kind of helps you, like, it helps you figure out which class you're more suited for, or like if you can. And Blizzard makes, or Overwatch makes it nicer to like explore other ones, because they kind of mix. Like there's a support character who has kind of like tankish abilities, or there's a tank character who has a little bit more attack, etc., etc. And it's nice because sometimes you don't just want to heal everyone and not be able to attack anyone else, because you just sit there and get berated by the enemy team. But it's fun. It's still fun. And I love it so much. And it kind of stretches me, because I'm not used to being, like, I like being in the back as a long range person and safe away from everyone else, but it forces me to like learn other characters who are like more close combat and gotta be in your face. And that's why I like playing mystery heroes, because I have to like learn other stuff. But yeah, so players gotta work on a team together to secure a point or defend a point, and just be objective gaming.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Objective gaming. And a lot of times people just kind of want to play for the kills, but there's an objective to do.
Hold up. Like, literally, Kazel, that was the scariest thing.
I, like, leaned up really quietly.
She just really wants to emphasize objective gaming.
That's what I always do in my games.
Karen, get on the payload.
I'm always on the payload. I
always get gold for objective kills and objective game timing. But yeah, so the game was initially released with only casual play. After the initial release, they added competitive stuff and the fun arcade games with different things to do, and then they added even like a make your custom own match thingy, and it's a fun time. And before Ash came out, there were only 28 characters, and it was nice. It was a nice even number. And the last character, what was the last character? It was Wrecking Ball, who was just a hamster and a ball who came from space.
Yeah, that
and
one.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually I forced myself to play him a lot last time I was playing Overwatch, and I was like, oh, he's actually really fun, and he's not as stupid and bad as I thought, because I'm just bad at clicking that extra button that it added. But yeah, it's the left control that makes you Kirby
like
smash to the ground. Yeah, the Kirby smash.
Kirby smash.
Yeah, that's what my friend used to spam all the time in Melee and Smash. And I'm like, stop!
People
Let me
don't
move.
know how to dodge it for some reason.
But yeah, so Ash came out, and again, her name is Elizabeth Caledonia, parentheses, Calamity Ash, and she is a thief and a gang leader.
This is her full legal name?
Yes. So I guess we're calling her by her last name, Ash.
Well, I mean, we call McCree by his last name.
True.
Calamity is...
That's a nickname.
A title. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
it
her
is?
last name is Calamity?
Yeah, no, it's in quotations, so
Got it.
yeah, that's a nickname.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
because I'm like, this is, Calamity Jane.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think I copied some of this from, like, the actual, I think it was the actual Overwatch website that I copied this from. Blizzard/playoverwatch.com. So it says on the website, Ash is the ambitious and calculating leader of the Deadlock Gang and a respected figure in the criminal underworld. And I remember I went back into Route 66 in the game, that one map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Western E1. And I was running around, I'm like trying to find where there was hints of her. And then I looked up in like the backmost room where you spawn. And I was like, oh, there's a big gigantic poster or painting on the wall that says Deadlock Gang. How did I not notice this like when the game came out?
In the back of the diner or the back of the like auto shop?
In the back of like where you spawn at the very last control or escort point, where you spawn as defense.
Right. Oh, as defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like a billiard table, and you look up right above it. It says Deadlock Gang. I'm like, oh, well, now I know where she came from. Yeah. So more into what it says on the website. She was born into a wealthy family. Ash grew up surrounded by privilege because that's why she is white. That's not that was added by me. Her parents were highly sought after business consultants and coaches for powerful CEOs around the world. Though her parents paid little attention to her, mostly leaving her in the care of her family's omnic butler, Bob, they ensured that Ash had every opportunity to succeed. But a chance meeting with a local ruffian named Jesse McCree and an impromptu string of crimes committed together opened her eyes to her true calling, the satisfaction of outwitting her targets and the thrill of getting away with it set her on the outlaw path. So that's why she went from being a secluded rich kid and kind of started getting into like she got into like a rebellious phase, and that's when she met Jesse McCree, and she's like, oh, I can steal stuff and I can command these people around to do what I want. Cool. And that's that's basically her whole story. Like they released the story of Ash, the backstory of Ash, the little
the
and
comics.
it's a beautiful thing that I looked at. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's why she's okay. That's why she's angry all the time. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I like her a lot. She's a damage focused character. That's her class.
Oh wait, she's an offense?
Yeah, she's offense.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she's more attack, and she has her sights. So, but I like her a lot more than I do say Widow, because she walks around faster when she's aiming down her sight.
Okay,
and
that's nice.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna change that, because
that's gonna suck.
Yeah, that would suck. But so her weapons are that rifle, the semi-automatic rifle, with quick shots, or she can aim down her sight and makes you shoot people far away, of course. And then she has her
rifle hit scan?
Huh?
Is it hit scan or is it projectile?
I don't know what that means.
When you shoot, do you have to is it instant on your crosshair, or do you have to wait for a thing to fly out like with Ana?
I think it's
so if you're
I think you have to wait.
Okay.
Yeah, it's longer than McCree, because I remember, because she has another ability. I think it's her E. No, I think it's her shift. No, it's E. Sorry. Her E is when she throws out the dynamite, and you can shoot that when it gets, or you can shoot that before it hits its time limit to explode on its own, to detonate on its own.
Wait, you have to manually shoot it? You
can if you want to. You don't have to, but if you don't shoot it at the time that you want it to go off, it'll go off within maybe 5 or 4 seconds or something. It takes a little while. It's a nice surprise on the ground, but I think it's shorter than that. I think it's or longer than that. So
can someone else shoot it, or do you have to shoot it?
I think you have to shoot it. I tried shooting other people's, and I was sad. I'm like, I thought this was mine.
I feel like that skill alone is introducing a really high skill curve.
It is, because that's why I went into a practice, a custom match with a bunch of other people who were testing her out, and everything was on the respawn. It was super quick on everything, so I would just throw out dynamite and try to shoot it off the ledge, and people would be using her ult, and I just hear her screaming in the distance 50 times. And when I'd seen my ult go off, I kind of just set it off into the canyon, because I would be in the western map. But yeah, I just sit there and practice shooting. But yeah, I think I remember I'd shoot before the dynamite hit an arc, the apex of the arc, as it's going down, and I'd shoot a little bit before. So yeah, there's a little bit of delay with the thingy. But yeah, that's her main weapon. Her coach gun is her shift, if you're playing on the keyboard like me. And it's basically almost like Junkrat's concussive mine. She shoots a little, I think it's almost like a really short range shotgun, and it just it has a short range explosion that kicks back the enemy and her, and so if she shoots it at the ground, she can jump up a little higher than normal. And I like that. Then she has the dynamite, which goes off within a time limit, and then her ultimate, which I don't know if a lot of people were too eager about it at first, but I think they kind of need to nerf it now that I've played against it enough. So her ult is basically, she throws out Bob, her butler man, and he's controlled by an AI, and he goes out, he runs a couple steps forward and kind of barrels through characters, and as soon as he stops or reaches a wall, he stops and turns around and starts shooting at things like a turret. Yeah.
So when he's charging, can he pin people?
I think he just knocks people around. I don't think he pins. He just knocks people away and around. And he's really useful when it's on your team. When it's on the enemy team, it's I gotta shoot this extra person. I gotta shoot this extra character down now.
Right.
And he has a fair bit of health, so it doesn't go down as easily.
Is it like a Torb turret? When he's like firing at you, he just automatically locks on?
Yeah. And it's kind of stressful because you're like, oh, I gotta hide behind this pillar for like 5 minutes. Hang on. You're like, but I gotta get to the point.
So her ultimate is throwing out like a mobile turret.
Yeah, that only goes out for like he runs. So it's like a turret mixed with, I guess, Brigitte's charge.
Interesting.
I don't think there's a stun on it though, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. So it can't interrupt ults.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's so stressful because all you hear is Ash screaming, "Bob, do something!" And they're just like, "Oh, I gotta go."
I love that. They got that Western accent. Jennifer Hale. That Western accent is on point.
It's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the alt, is it like forever? So like until it dies, or does it go away?
Yeah. So he lasts like maybe, I don't know. I should have written that down, but he lasts for like a couple seconds, not more, less than a minute, and after a minute he just jumps away and is gone.
Oh, okay.
But it's not good when he's sitting where you need to go, so you kind of need to shoot him. You're like, I need to get there within a minute.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That she's very like damage based, but has a kind of defensive alt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's good, but it's like
and
a good kit.
Yeah, so like not many characters have that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I was worried that when you threw out Bob, you just like Ash would be standing super vulnerable without being able to move, and you'd have to control Bob by yourself. That was what I was worried about. But the fact that you can actually still move around as Ash while Bob is out, and even just like my favorite thing about him being an ult is you can walk up to him, or you can be anywhere on the map, and you can hit hello, and he'll wave back at you. It's really cute. Like
That's
hello,
amazing.
and he's like wave. Well, he's got his gun out. He's just like waving. So that's my favorite part about that.
I was kind of worried about the opposite thing, which is what is now, like the AI.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just like, well, it sounds like it's fine, right? If it's just a turret. But
yeah,
like,
for now it's okay. But it's like, I'm sure at some point someone's gonna complain and be like, "Oh, Bob is too OP."
It's like dumb AI is always a concern when you have things controlled by it. But it doesn't sound like that's a problem right now.
Yeah, it's not as bad as like he's running around gonna get your butt and knock you off places. No, he moves and then he stands in one place and doesn't move after that.
Was it, does the dynamite, because I was watching the trailer and she threw it at Reinhardt and Brigitte. Does it go through his shield or does it bounce off?
I don't think I tried that.
All right. Anyone get at me with that info.
I was too busy.
Have Overwatch updated.
I was too busy trying to just like shoot it in the air. Practice that.
When does this character come out live?
It depends on Blizzard, how Blizzard feels. Usually they take that 1 week to leave it in PTR, and then the week after, or at least 2 weeks after, they'll release it out of PTR and into the final game. But I don't know what they're doing. I feel like Blizzard is busy after BlizzCon, so we'll see.
That was a hectic BlizzCon, I feel like.
It was.
All right, well.
All right, well, I just want to, like, I just want to mention, like, Overwatch is so great.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's, like, ever since all of us bought the game, there's been nothing but these free content updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like new characters, seasonal events, new skin sprays, all of it, and it's just like, I don't think we appreciate that enough.
I mean, I've given it like maybe $200 worth of my money, so I don't know I don't know if I don't appreciate it.
Okay, you're good. But I mean, just like,
you're not talking about in game, are you?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But I've bought the game twice. I have it on PC and console, and then in game I keep throwing 20s at it.
Oh, so you are talking about in-game.
Oh, okay.
Then.
Yeah.
You are buying loot. Well, okay. Are these just for regular loot boxes or for the seasonal stuff?
Season stuff.
Yeah.
Events. Okay. I don't do it for regular. I'm just like, I don't care.
Well, I'm just like, I don't mean that in like a bad, like, we're all terrible people. I'm just like, I don't know. Everything that's coming out recently is just like, here's the game, and then here's the season pass, which isn't terrible because the base games have so much, but like, you know, Overwatch is just giving us all this free stuff after, and I don't know. I'm just learning to appreciate that more.
I mean, they do a good job of giving you like a pay option so they can give you a bunch of free stuff.
Yeah.
So I think more game companies should adopt that kind of idea.
Okay, hold up. I'm not so quick to jump on that because like microtransactions are very, if we're going to use the argument for using microtransactions to fund free content, I'm wary about that just because when Destiny 2 was starting out, it got a little nuts and everything was kind of microtransactions.
Oh.
Right,
Yeah.
but I mean, that depends on the developer, what they think is good enough.
Yeah.
So, like, microtransactions can be great if used well. So, like, saying, like, hey, microtransactions are a good thing doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be a good thing for everything, because it just all depends on how you implement it.
Right.
It just depends on the game and how the companies spend it. And I know Blizzard is kind of going crazy with merch. Like, I can walk into the Hot Topic and there's like a wall covered in Overwatch. I'm like, okay, they're getting their money.
Yeah.
And then you go on the Blizzard store, merch store, and it has stuff that isn't in Hot Topic. I'm like, oh, look, they're getting even more money. Going to Walmart, there's a wall of Overwatch stuff. Oh, hey, look, there's more Overwatch money, yay!
What's the last Overwatch thing you all bought?
The last Overwatch, it wasn't officially Overwatch.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, I bought a mug. It has Tracer on it, and I bought it at Anime Expo from an artist in Artist Alley, so.
Oh, I mean, nice.
That counts.
Yeah. It kind of counts. It doesn't go to Blizzard, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I mean,
it's still
Overwatch.
It's very cutesy, and I love it.
Yeah, the last thing I bought was a blind box.
I bought a Pachimaru plush.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was also, I was at Comic-Con and they were selling, like, you know how each season they have, or each seasonal event they have, like, the seasonal Pachimaru icons?
Yeah.
I bought the Chinese lantern one.
Oh,
nice.
That's a good
How fitting.
Why, because I'm Chinese?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. What was the most recent Overwatch thing you bought, Kazel?
I bought, staring at it, I got one of those blind boxes that they have at the store that are just like little bags and you don't know what's in it. And I got the winter Widowmaker skin, and it's nice, but I already have a Widowmaker, so I don't really like it as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
But before that, what I got before, I went into Target, I think. No, it wasn't Target, it was Walmart. And my Walmart has this like row of just Funkos, and I was walking through it and then caught like the corner of my eye, and it was a big Diva Funko in a different colored skin.
With the mech?
Yeah, with the mech. I was like, oh, I shouldn't buy this, but it's here. And then I put it in my hands and I was like, oh, I'll just carry it around for a while. And I left the store with it. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm bringing it home. It's mine now.
Yeah, my Overwatch merch is like Tracer and Sombra. That's it. Other than my body pillow, but let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk about that. We can post that image another time, but yeah. Damn, you guys should post an image of both your nerd shelves.
Okay.
I'll do it right now, later. I don't know.
Later. I want to see. My nerd shelf is pathetic. I just got one, and it's bare bones.
Nice. I've posted mine before on stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, update it, man.
I have like 3, so I don't know.
Oh my, yeah. Let me see that stuff, man.
I haven't updated mine, so. I have my bookshelf, I have my board game shelf, and then I have just my dresser, which just has comic boxes on it. So
take a picture of boxes.
Yeah.
All right. The wheel has spoken once more.
Yay.
And it is me.
Elaine.
So,
what did you get excited about?
That's my Starbucks name.
Elaine.
Elaine.
Yep.
All right.
But what I got excited about, and just like UK, so I got excited about this a few weeks back, but I'm still very excited because the date draws near. Ooh. On November 20th, Wizards of the Coast, the D&D team at their Wizards of the Coast, are releasing 2 new books.
Hey.
One of them is a continuation of the current adventure module, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It's called Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but I'm not going to go into that because it's going to spoil story stuff. But I am going to talk about the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
How dare you?
All right. So this is some real cool shit, okay? So what this book is, it's basically a primer for a new setting that you can run for your D&D campaigns. Our current settings include Forgotten Realms, which is pretty old. I don't have the author on me. And the other one is A Baron, which I think is pretty new. And that one was actually written by a fan, and they won a contest and got turned into an official 5th edition setting.
Nice.
Wow.
So, Sal, if you ever want to do some world building, I'm sure you can write in those competitions.
Ooh.
Right. So, Ravnica, as Sal, you would know, and other people fan of the Magic the Gathering universe, is a plane in Magic the Gathering. And the Magic the Gathering team and Dungeons & Dragons are both part of Wizards of the Coast, but they are separate teams. So, and I bring that up because in the past we have had Mr. I believe his name, crap, everything's freezing. Mr. James Wyatt had written some supplemental, I'll say PDFs, because you can get them for free, that was called Plane Shift, and it gave you information on how to kind of set your setting in different MTG planes like Dominaria, Ixalan, Amonkhet. I'm probably butchering these.
No,
but what's exciting... Yay! What's exciting about the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica is this is official from the D&D team release that, takes... We're seeing this official cross between the Magic the Gathering universe and the D&D, the 2 multiverses. Right. And I'm real excited because, from my understanding, Ravnica is just this plane that is completely covered in a cityscape. It is this giant urban environment, right? And that is I've been wanting that. I'm not a writer and I don't read books. I'm not good at world building, which is what these books are good for. If you're like me, a DM that sucks at writing, having these primers and these modules give you a kind of starting place to create an adventure that will be fun. And I like fantasy. I'm a real big fan of Game of Thrones, but I wanted something like city life, and because a lot of stuff I think I've learned because of Hilda, I just finished that. You can have adventures in, an urban and a city environment that are, really cool too. That's kind of why I got Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and I'm running that module with my friends. But that one takes complete in one city, but there's some issues with it. But if you want something before the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica comes out, you should try Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
So, yeah, it's I love that you bring this up because I'm not a big fan of D&D as much. I've always said I'll play it with you guys if you dragged me.
I should ask, how much
but...
role-playing games, like pen and paper roleplay, have either of you done?
0.
I've done like 3.
All right.
I've done a little tiny quick campaign with my friend Lauren once for her birthday, but that was like a couple hours long. And like that's it. And it was okay, but like Ravnica, which is this like planes in Magic the Gathering,
which you love so very much.
I love it so much. It's this place where it's divided into these 10 guilds, and these 10 guilds are like they categorize themselves as mages who use like these types of magic. And so you have these like crazy mages who are like super assassins and spies, and you have these mages who are like scientists and technicians and are like super crazy, and you have other ones that are like biologists and stuff. And it's like, that's like, if I could be like an Is It mage,
which you can on the 20th.
Like, yeah, and like that sounds so cool.
Elaine, you need to DM this.
I think I'm
Do
part of like 4 different games at the moment, of which 2 of them I am the DM.
Oh no!
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work.
I don't.
Actually, I think I've done 4 games. 5, actually.
At one time.
So the one, no.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's one that Ted started, and then one that Lauren started. Neither of these are finished. And then one that I DM'd for a birthday, so it was like a couple hours long thing. It was a one shot. And then current one, which is Ted's dad's campaign, and then another one which is Eric's game.
It's just sidebar. Ted's dad is like the most fascinating person to me.
Yes.
Yeah,
and his campaign is the best so far.
He's one of us, and it's great.
It seems like you've been playing for quite a while, Kazel. Have all of these been 5th edition? Because that's the only one I know.
I think so, yes. Ted's dad is a little more familiar with like the earlier edition, so he's been kind of playing it differently, but generally it's very much 5th edition.
And like, what are these editions? Because I don't know.
Right.
Explain.
So Dungeons and Dragons is what I called pen and paper, in that you just do everything in person on a piece of paper and you write stuff down. And there's basic framework for how to play the game that is in what is written down in these core rule books that define the edition. And each edition there have been changes to like that basic framework. So like the classes available and how you do the math and the skills available, it's like a different iteration of the game is what these editions are. And the current edition we're on is 5th edition. It's the only one I know. I think I'm the youngest person on this podcast. I'm loving 5th edition, and it's very accessible, which I think is part of the reason why D&D is coming back into vogue, because into the mainstream.
Oh, I don't know these hip words.
Like you used a weird. It's not even a current word. It's an old word.
I know. I'm a young body with an old soul.
All right. I okay.
But this was one thing I wanted to confirm is. So the whole plane of Ravnica is this large cityscape, but in terms of technology, is it all very, like, steampunk?
Yeah, I would say so. It kind of depends on where you are in the city, because each part of the city is, like, ruled by these, like, guild groups. Right? So, and they'll run like their part of the city kind of different. So some of them will run it like more modern-ish, but like steampunk is around the kind of area that's like the most technically advanced, I suppose.
are cool.
So yeah, I would
asked
say
just because like I don't think I've ever really been that big a fan of steampunk.
they just use a lot of electricity.
I don't know, just all the pipes and the brass and the really intricate clothing did not entice me.
Yeah,
But that's good. That
No.
because I want that city adventure. Is my big point.
yeah. So like, yeah, like if you're because the Is It mages are very steampunky because they're scientists who are just always experimenting with things. But if you go to like the Azorius Senate or like the Boros
And these are all
Legion,
part of the 10 guilds, right? That run Ravnica.
yeah, they're very like they're more fantasy based where they're wearing like old school like armor, like medieval stuff, and using swords and whatnot. So it all depends on where you are and where you want to have these things take place and stuff.
Well, I'm definitely getting this book because
Do you need magic cards to play this game?
no, you do not. Dungeons and Dragons, all you need is a pen, a paper, and a D20 die.
Yay!
Which we all have phones now. We can simulate quote unquote simulate random number generation.
Yes.
But,
I like dice.
Once I get this book,
do you want to know?
oh my
I
God,
have so
yeah.
many dice,
dude. Once you buy one polyhedral set, you just got to keep buying more.
Yep. And I had to limit myself because one of my friends was just like, okay, every time you make a new character for D&D, that's the only time you can buy
That's what I do.
a set
All
of
my
dice.
characters have different dice.
And it doesn't help that I have like 5 different campaigns that I made. I'm like,
But
I have a lot of dice.
when I buy this book, Sal, if you are interested, we can start our own campaign.
Oh
Yes,
boy!
and you can get a taste of what
of what D&D
of what
is
the
like.
super nerds get to live.
The super nerds. It's so funny that like when you talk about super nerds, most people think about D&D, but like I don't think it's that.
I don't think
bad.
I think because of how popular it's gotten now, that's not like because D&D was like what the last bastion of nerddom in the past, but I think now that's like just LARPing.
Yeah, LARPing is the extreme one that is too nerdy for it. But when you go to conventions, you're technically LARPing.
Wait, what? Why?
Yes, cosplay is a form of LARPing.
When you're cosplaying. Yeah, it is. So I guess I've just covered the whole entire gambit of nerd.
Well, that's good. We all cover different areas of the nerd realm.
Break the stigma.
Yeah, that comes out November 20th. So then that only leaves you, Sal. What did you get real excited about?
Yay. So I'm going to be jumping back into music.
Hooray.
It's funny because when we first started this podcast, I was like, we're probably never going to talk about music. And we've talked about music.
Every week.
In every episode, yeah. so that's very interesting. But I'm going to be talking about K-pop. Specifically, this K-pop group called Twice. So they just released a new video along with an album. Their album, like K-pop albums work differently than ours, so it's a little weird. But let's not worry about the album right now. So the song is called Yes or Yes, and it came out November 5th, and it's really great. I'm gonna link it to you guys just so you can like look and listen to it while I talk about who Twice is.
Oh my God, there are 9 people in this group.
Yes. So surprisingly, Twice having 9 members is actually on the lower side of the spectrum.
Okay,
yeah.
Wait, I want to.
K-pop groups have so many members in them usually. So 9 is actually decent, whereas like some like Girls' Generation have like I don't even know. It's like it feels like there's like 20 members in that group, but
What? Sorry, go on. I'm gonna process this.
Yeah. So Twice is a South Korean idol group formed by JYP Entertainment back in 2015 through a reality show called 16. So if you don't know, South Korea and other parts of the world usually form their music groups a lot differently than America does. And so just in this particular instance, they ran a show called 16 where these girls would go on and compete to land a spot on their upcoming girl group called Twice. And so these 9 members just happened to win and they got the part, basically. It's kind of like an audition.
Yeah, live audition. That's
I think that's just how Asia does it now, because they do that in the Philippines too now, which is really weird.
Interesting.
And like all of Chinese television programming is like game shows like this also.
Yeah. It's a little weird and different, but it works for them. I don't really care for the fact that they're manufactured.
Oh.
And it's weird because like they're obviously doing all the work, like they're the ones singing, they're the ones dancing, but they're not really writing their own music or anything like we have to do.
Well, I feel like there's plenty of that here in the US, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
We just have artists
with our groups?
Well, no, aren't there artists, but then it's the music or like they have producers that make their songs for them?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I guess no, you're right. Our pop stars do that a lot. I guess I'm just like used to like bands because I listen to bands that just like write all their own music and everything. Right. But yeah, so that's how they formed. So there's 9 members of the group. I'm gonna go ahead and butcher all these names.
Do it.
I'm ready. Yes. I want to hear this.
All right. Naeyoung, Jishyong, Momo, Sana, Jihyo, Mina, Daehyung, and then Chaeyoung and Suyu. So those are all
apologies
the members.
To Twice.
Yes, all our I love you guys.
And also Korean listeners, sorry.
Yeah. So if you must know, my favorite girl of the group is Sana, and you can see her at 1:28. That's the timestamp. I just want you guys
go ahead and add that to the description.
Is she the one by the wheel?
Yes. So and like all these girls usually have like a kind of personality type that they display, and so this girl Sana is kind of like the ditzy, very joyful girl of the group, and I love her. She's precious. But yeah, so Twice rose to fame with their single Cheer Up, which was back in 2016.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that was their second single. I didn't get to figure that out in time, but their first single was Ooh Ah. That was the name of the song, and that's where I learned about them, when like they first came out with that song. So Cheer Up charted number 1 on the Jiun digital charts and became the best performing single of the year back in 2016 also. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Korea. So their fan club is also called Once for some reason. I don't know why.
What the heck?
I think that's like the stupidest thing.
It's like, we're Once. We're the fan club for Twice.
Yeah, you'll see on like the video comments, they're like, hey, Onces, and I'm like, don't use that. Yeah, so they've been rising in popularity since then. They've gotten so many hits. This video, Yes or Yes, was number 1 trending when it first came out, and it was trending up until yesterday, which was the 9th. It wasn't number 1, but it was still in the trending.
That's a really long time for trending. Like on YouTube or... Yeah, like that fucking trending page changes so quickly. That's impressive.
Yeah, so it was actually on there longer than the League of
No!
Legends video.
Sorry.
Wow.
So, yeah, they've been rising in popularity, and that's what brings us to today, where they're one of like the most popular girl groups. And yeah, I love them, and you should definitely check them out. I actually normally don't care for K-pop as much. I like the girl groups more than the guys, because the guys feel...
Wonder why.
The guys are just like a little bit more edgy, and the girls are more cheerful, and all their songs make me happy.
Like, I don't know what they're singing about.
I just finished watching the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, their music videos are always so like well done too.
There's a Family Guy bit about that. But
nice.
So I just finished the video, and I think you said you don't really care for K-pop typically. I don't think I'm that way too. I don't listen to K-pop. In high school, I was kind of one of those dumb people that just like would just espouse hate towards K-pop just because I didn't like it.
Oh.
But
yeah.
I'm calm now, especially because that League of Legends music video has me like,
it's so good. They're like, dang it, I like K-pop now.
Okay, I don't think I like all of K-pop, but I don't know. I don't. If I can't understand the lyrics to the song, I'm not a big fan of it. So I guess try to help me understand the appeal is what I'm asking.
Well, it's hard since I don't really care for any K-pop group except this one, but
whoa.
The appeal to this one, I don't know. It's just in the dance and the song. This group has subtitles for the song, so you know what's like the song is about, which I think
right.
Is
but
nice.
Music is an audio format, and I can't read subtitles.
Yeah, well, and they do have they have actually a fair number of English in
where
the
they say
song.
yes or yes.
That's nice.
But in the beginning, like, so the song is basically about like a girl giving a guy an option, like you either have yes or yes. Like, I'm getting my way. But but I don't know. I know it's not for everyone. Just they have really very nice choreographed dances. Their music is very upbeat and nice, and it's a bunch of cute girls.
All right,
so
well then so it's good energy. I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's good energy. I listen to it when I want like a pick me up.
So not when you're in the freezer at work listening to Ice Nine Kills.
Yes, that's when I listen to metal, and when I'm down in the dumps, I listen to K-pop.
Oh, okay. I got a question.
Yes.
How long have you been listening to? I guess just them. If you don't listen to other K-pop.
Ever since their first video, so I want to say back in 2016 or 2015, one of those. So it's been a good 2 to 3 years.
Wait, how long have they been? Because you said that their number one song was in 2016, right?
Yeah. So, and I think that was their second song.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so their first song was either earlier that year or the year before. Because I remember the gap not being very long before they released the second song. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster, and
has
it? A roller coaster of ups and downs with the group. They actually had a hard patch through the career because some controversy happened with one of the members.
Hold on. You said hard patch, and for some reason I thought like a game patch. Oh God.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Sorry, go on.
But yeah, they had some controversy with one of their members. I think it was the youngest member of their group, where they went on some talk show and she was she had the Taiwanese flag, and then she didn't have the Taiwanese flag. She was holding the flag of the Republic of China.
Oh.
And so people were saying she was like a Taiwanese independent activist or something, and it actually swayed like some of the votes on the election in Taiwan, and it lost the company what's the company, JYP Entertainment, like a lot of money, and she was like banned from China for a while. So
dang.
Well,
yeah.
So no, not if you go on a talk show, don't hold any flags.
Yeah. The idea was like they were holding flags from like where they're from and stuff,
well,
but I guess
you can't help where you're from.
Yeah. Yeah, so but people were like, this is hate speech or something, so you know.
They're more sensitive than Americans.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been into. I've been playing this song and then that League of Legends song like on repeat. It's great.
I'll give yes or yes a few more listens. Yeah.
A few listens.
Cool. But yeah, that's everything.
Well, that's what we got real excited about this week, and thank you so much for enthusing with us. If you enjoyed what you heard, share it with a buddy so you can nerd out together. If you have any recommendations for improvements, feel free to leave them in the comments. Comments are always very much appreciated. Don't forget to hit that like button and check us out on social media. We are at Those Nerds Cast on Twitter, and we also just got on iTunes, so make sure to subscribe and leave us a rating. Those ratings are going to help a lot. And do you guys want to plug your social media?
For a second, are we Those Nerds Cast on iTunes also? Or...
No. On iTunes, we're just Those Nerds Over There, the title of the podcast.
Okay.
Right?
Got it. I just wanted to...
No, you're good.
Good to know.
Hazel?
Oh. Yeah, so my handles on the internet is usually Kazel R, just CAZEL and R. But on Twitter, I'm on Twitter a lot, so that's Kazelu, and yeah, just follow me places, especially on Twitch. I stream drawing and also playing video games.
Yeah, and I'm at Salzik on Twitter. If you want to follow me there, I'm very active there. I'm also on Instagram at Mr. Salzik. I'm less frequent there, but I post some nice pictures sometimes. And I've also been streaming with my friend on Twitch. So his is twitch.tv /where is Suspiria. And we've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, so go check that out on Thursdays.
And on Twitter, I am at Arielize_, and on Instagram, I am at ALNZHANG. I just post kind of random pictures of hobbies I'm into. Like, now I just got into sculpting Pokemon out of air clay.
Yay!
And then I want to thank my roommate again, Forrest, for submitting this week's question. He's at Kahoy on Twitch. And, if you have any questions or that you want added to the nut jar, feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll add them and you'll get a shout out. Thank you so much for listening and see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.